This is the NBY 8898, and it might surprise you. When I see a speaker like this, I just assume that it was primarily designed around the RGB lighting system. It's a marketing tool. Get that sale, and all other features are secondary, like playing audio. Not with the 8898. This one is different. On paper, it just doesn't sound that impressive. A 1 3/4 inch driver up top and a passive radiator on the bottom. It only has a 1200 milliamp hour battery. It takes 2 to 3 hours to charge, and at maximum volume, you'll get about 2 hours of playback. That's just awful. But after you start using the 8898, you start to notice things. Little things that make a big difference, like this built-in lanyard with a non-slip rubber loop. One frequent complaint I have about Bluetooth speaker controls are the black-on-black labeling systems so many of them use, and they are here as well. You see that the mode button and the power button are following that scheme, but look at these enormous plus and minus buttons. Distinctly red, distinctly different shapes, and easy to find and use. And just take a look under the hood. We have a USB-C charging port, a U-drive slot, 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input port, and a TF card slot. It's got everything, but it has one feature you can't even see, and that is an FM radio. I tried all of these ports, and I was especially happy with the responsiveness of the TF card slot and the U-drive slot. Normally, if you use large capacity cards, it takes a long time to index all the tracks. I used a 256 gigabyte U-drive with roughly 12,000 songs in it, indexed the whole thing in less than a minute. But what took me by surprise the most is just how good this speaker sounds. A 1 3/4 inch speaker running at 5 watts can't possibly sound good, right? Well, it does. And you can run this at maximum volume with no distortion for any kind of music. That just doesn't happen. This even passed my bass torture test without any distortion. No, it's not thunderous bass with bone-rattling sound waves, but it's there and it sounds good. I should disclose that during my bass torture test, the 8898 was hopping across the table. That was kind of funny. It might help if they put some non-slip feet on here, but it didn't bother me. This speaker is IPX5 water resistant. You don't want to submerge this speaker, but a little light rain, a splash here or there, it'll be fine. This speaker even supports TWS mode, that's true wireless stereo. If you happen to have 2 of these, you can wirelessly connect them together for a stereo experience and double the power. Would I buy 2 of these specifically to attain that feature? Probably not, but it is available. The 8898 also supports hands-free calling options. The person I talked to said that I sounded fine. It sounded like I was on a speakerphone, and I was, but a perfectly usable feature if that's important to you. I don't know how many people buy a Bluetooth speaker with the intention of listening to FM radio, but if you are one of those people, the feature does work, it sounds good, and it's easy to use. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that it requires an antenna to be inserted, and by antenna they mean either the 3.5 millimeter auxiliary input cable or a USB charging cable, or both. Some kind of cable that you can use as an antenna. The NBY 8898 will surprise you. It's small, it looks good, it sounds good at maximum volume with no distortion. It won't annoy your neighbors, so it's good to have for yourself or maybe to get for your children. My only concern is the horrendously terrible battery life, but maybe you intend to leave this at your desk or in your room or whatever. I am going to give this speaker a 4 out of 5 stars. Thanks for stopping by.